friends, welcome to the YouTube channel that fails to become a TV show. Every time the camera presses record, it fails miserably. Whether or not that's in the lighting department, in the focusing department, or in the audio department, or in the presenting department. It depends on how you define failure. Today we're talking about my favourite classic Who Doctor. I know that this is not a surprise to anyone that Jon Pertwee is my favourite classic Who Doctor, but I wanted to create a video where A, it was short, B, it was sweet, and C, it was all about one particular person. Yes, that's Jon Pertwee. I'm not going to go into much detail about why I love Jon Pertwee due to the fact that I've got a documentary that just sums that up perfectly. John Connor, the man who was Doctor Who, which you can press on at the end with the end card that was filmed at the same time as the documentary was as well. So we're talking about Jon Pertwee as the third Doctor because he is, I personally think, he's the best. He sums up classic Who. So New Who is all about the effects, all about all these incredible monsters, and the Doctor knows all these facts. But at the beginning, it was all about what is the Doctor, who is the Doctor, and how does the Doctor react. Well, in Jon Pertwee's case, he was Mr. Action Man. He wasn't flying through the air, travelling through time and space. He was trapped on Earth. And that made his series interesting because his version of the Doctor had to be the Doctor that didn't know anything about the TARDIS, had a lot of issues with memories due to the fact that the Time Lord had wiped his memory. So, on the time travel front. So, he had to have poor memory. And what really works for that, for Jon Pertwee's Doctor, the third Doctor, is that what can the third Doctor give you that no other Doctor can in this situation? It's all about you choosing which. So if you look at all the Doctors, and if you think any of the Doctor trapped on Earth, but in exile to Earth, would they be able to cope? No. And I think the Jon Pertwee's Doctor is the Doctor that can cope, and it helps. I think that having Jon Pertwee's Doctor, third Doctor on Earth, helps establish aliens and all this. And I think that is what works really well, is that you learn more about Earth, the Doctor, the unit, and all these other alien forces, so that when you look back at the history of Doctor Who, you learn more, and having the Master first appear in that era, and all these interesting elements that wouldn't have existed unless the Doctor was exiled to Earth. I just think that worked really well. I mean, without Jon Pertwee, we wouldn't have had the Autons, because the Autons first appear in Jon Pertwee's era, and then they reappear in the first episode of New Who, so you wouldn't have had the Autons if it wasn't for Jon Pertwee and the third Doctor. And I think that you should give that round of applause. And I think that the Autons, you having the Sea Devils, so we wouldn't have had the new spin-off we've got now without the Sea Devils. So I think for Jon Pertwee's era, we've got to be grateful that a lot of it, and I mean a lot of it, exists. And I think that the collection box sets benefit from Jon Pertwee's era. It benefits from this, and we wouldn't have had Joe Grant or Joe Jones. Well, they're both the same person, really. We wouldn't have had Sarah Jane Smith. We wouldn't have had we would have had the Brigadier, because the Brigadier had appeared in the second Doctor era. But what makes sense and what is perfect is, I think, the stories. Sontarans, there's another one that appeared in the Doctor's era, and I think that it helps and it works perfectly. I just love it. I just think every single story the Doctor's in, I don't think I want I can't think of, I'm trying to now, but I don't think I can think of a single bad story that has the Doctor in it as Jon Pertwee, the third Doctor, played by Jon Pertwee. I don't think I can find a bad one. I could probably say one I'm a little bit iffy at, which is the Sea Devils one, because I'm not 100% sure I'm on board with Sea Devils as a villain. But I think that as a Doctor, he's this action man. Bessie, and we've got Bessie or the Whomobile, and we've got any of them. The hover car thing. I don't know how hover cars really work, really. Because I know that hovercrafts have the little black bit at the bottom so that it's where all the air is, but I don't know how an actual hover car worked, because I know it was road legal. Jon Pertwee appeared on Blue Peter showing off, and he proved the point that it was road legal. Did he drive all the way from wherever he was beforehand to the Blue Peter Studios in that? I sure hope so. Because if he did that, that would have been hilarious if that had been the case. It probably was the case when they drove into the studio, so I'm not too sure. Again, you wouldn't have had Bessie or the Whomobile without, if I'm saying that right, without Jon Pertwee, the third Doctor. And I think that's also incredible because Bessie has become one of the most memorable cars in Doctor Who's history. You can have like a Lamborghini or whatever, but you wouldn't remember that as much as you would remember Bessie. And I just think that's just perfect. So, there we have it. Another wonderful video that tried to be a TV show episode, but as I always say, failed 180% and 100% wrong. If anyone can give me any suggestions, pointers in the right direction of how to make sure that this becomes the greatest TV show of all time, instead of crumbling, failing. I mean, Doctor Who's the greatest TV show of all time, so any help would be appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Time on to end. Bye!
Don't forget to subscribe to the official Tom Mason YouTube channel.